If you hadn't noticed, this entire episode has been about responsibility and value. Not just life, but also money, trust, and friendship, reputation. Value comes in spades, everyone, and it all determines on each individual how big or small that value can be. There is no true equality within that, and that is the truth. Well, that being said, let's talk about some nice little Easter eggs first. Um, First, I want to talk about the city and the interesting blue structure that Rudius and the gang have came into. The city is named Kishirushi, which is named after that purple-haired girl who's calling her the demon lord, Kishirika. See these names, Kishirika. She, believe it or not, despite her little her appearance, she's actually humongous. Not humongous, but powerful. Very powerful. Let's just say that when it comes to the demon world, certain demons are so powerful to the point where they're actually, even when they die, they just come back alive. Whether they regenerate but slowly or fast, or they reincarnate, as in they die but they come back but they have to grow back to their normal size. So, if you don't know a little thing about Kishi Rika, is that she was killed centuries ago, but she's coming back at a small size. So now she seems to be extremely weak, but as she grows into her normal size, she will be big. But now, speaking of that, she really is a demon lord, believe it or not. She is told of legend, but she hasn't been around the city or her empire for a very long time. So they're waiting on her. However, no one ever seen her in her childlike form. So when people do see her, they're not gonna believe or think it's her. They're just, it's just another annoying demon. That's just a child. That's all they're going to think about her. That's a little cool trivia. And it's the fact that this nice castle you see is actually her castle. That's what it is. It's her castle. But she'd rather wander around the world than to actually be in her own kingdom. She's that kind of emperor. Next, I want to talk about is um, the the horse Nakapara. Nakapara, believe it or not, is actually a very old acquaintance with Roxy Sensei, believe it or not. If you ever read the manga Roxy Gets Serious, he's actually the first guild member, one of the first guild members that Roxy joins up with in her first time as an adventurer and stuff when they first start out and stuff. Despite him being extremely annoying and stuck up, he's actually very serious when it comes to his job. So there's that. So Nakapara is a very, very interesting character where you hate him, but yet he makes some sense at the same time. And he's also a bit of a trickster. Very smart. Don't let his horse underestimate you. Now let's finally get into the episode itself. They enter the city and they see all the things that's so unique. You see the love that this show is getting is so amazing. It's right up there with ReZero. You know how much love ReZero is getting with their show? It's getting so much love that they don't get commercials. The show is literally 30 minutes, but you don't get to see the opening though. But again, we don't get an opening either. At least we get the song. At least we get that. Well, anyways, of that aside, it's also amazing how they have every language. There's multiple languages in this world, and yet the voice actors, the studio is taking their time to learn the language of this world. They will speak it. They're not just speaking Japanese, people. They're speaking exactly that language, which is freaking amazing. It shows how much care, support that this series is getting, people. Now, Rudius needs to learn to make some money. He also needs to learn how to find a way back home, and also help out Rudyard in his reputation of his tribe. He has a lot on his plate. Responsibility. and he needs to balance it out and find out what he needs to do and where to start, so he can know where to go. So first, earn money. So he decided to join a guild. Join a guild named a Dead End. He wanted to experiment to see if people would really fear Richard if they saw him. For instance, just by appearance of the green hair and third eye, everyone freaks out. Richard just can stand there, everyone just freaks out. The city will destroy itself. With that being said, when Rudy decided to do hair dye, because I guess the demons haven't found out about hair dye. No one in the world probably hasn't found out about hair dye yet. Thank goodness. He's able to dye his hair like Roxy's clan. And so everyone's looking at him. This proves that there's no actual curse on him, where people look at him and they'll fear him because of a curse, but instead it's more as just the reputation itself is the reason why everyone runs away. We have this stuff in our world too, where everyone has a stereotype of how they see a certain group in life, which sucks. It really does. You usually go by the individual instead of the group itself, but you can't help that. They're only looking out the outside. That being said, it works. Instead of everyone fearing, everyone is laughing, proving Ria's getup looks ridiculous and stuff. And freaking ridiculous, by the way. So now he meets up with Hitami, the man god. He tells him, hey, go look for this kin. You go look for this kin, it will help you out in your problems. But it's a low rank thing, it don't cost much. So how is this going to help out? He goes do it, and this is where a very important scene happened. A lot happened in the scene where Rudius gets kicked. Redrick kills the guy that kicked Rudius, and then they have this dispute about the value of life and why you shouldn't kill. And also while Eris is praising Rudius, saying just leave everything with Rudius and things will be okay. Now, do you know in Star Wars, George Lucas saying how a lot of scenes in Star Wars is like poetry, how they rhyme, how certain situations with different people will be in that situation later on down the road. One of my favorites is when Darth Maul kills Qui-Gon, then he kills Kenobi's former lover and stuff, or where Darth Maul's brother gets killed the same way, where he does it from behind, or where how Kenobi defeats Darth Maul at the end. There's a lot of poetry within Star Wars where same events will happen, sometimes with the same characters or with different characters, but it has to be in an ironic scene, so therefore it rhymes. Mushoku Tensei will have a lot of rhyming in it as well. For instance, remember how in the first volume with Selphie, where Rudius was, Selphie's savior, to the point where Selphie would listen to whatever Rudius says and just leave everything to him, to the point where she'll even, they didn't show it in the anime, but in light novels and even some stories in the manga where the father was like, she would even question some of the actions that the parents would do compared to what Rudius told her, meaning she was listening to Rudius over her own parents. Now, the same thing in a way is happening with Eris, where Eris just leaves everything to Rudius. He thinks he is amazing, he can't do no wrong, he is a genius, so therefore, why even questioning him? Eris is going through the same thing as Selphie is. So, the question is, despite how Rudius is doing the planning and Redrick is the strength, and Eris is good at herself, you can see Eris is like the empty cup. She's observing everything. She's completely ignorant and oblivious to the world. And she sees these two in their actions. She looks at Redrick and she sees him killing. And she doesn't flinch. She doesn't care. Like back in, episode 4. Or was it 5? I can't remember. I think it was probably 5. And she didn't care what happened to the people that died. Same thing happened here. She didn't care. However, she was upset that Rudius was upset. She was upset because someone died. She was upset because Rudius was upset. It felt like that Redrick was ruining Rudius' plans. And she doesn't like it when people ruins anything of Rudius. Heck, even when she had her button on her cloak come off, she was extremely upset. Not because the cloak itself was ruined, but it was from Rudius. It's the reason why she was upset about it. So as you can see there, she's become another faithful follower of Rudius. He seemed to have that kind of thing where certain people just follows him. They see him as this genius in a way. He attracts those kind of people who are lost and innocent, in certain ways. And you will see this more and more if they continue more of the anime down the road, where people become too dependent on Rudius to the point it becomes extremely unhealthy. Now, continuing on, well, the other thing is where Rudius once again is in this spot where he's using the logic of his old world, where you value life, you shouldn't take life because they say it's not right. However, in this world, it's kill or be killed. The strong rule over the weak and stuff like that. The rich rules over the poor, and there's no way the poor can rise up unless they do some type of revolution. Other than that, that's just the way it is. So he's the only one who's freaking out, besides the people who feel like they're about to die too. Of that, so he's in Bridger's like he don't understand why he did wrong. That they're villains. In a way, what they're doing was pretty wrong. They're kidnapping pets and then pretending that they found them just to get more money and to keep the rank the same so they can keep exploiting the job system. That's why some people settle in certain positions in the work field, because they created their own system and they exploit the system in order to make themselves thrive. But again, if you have that kind of strategy and brain power and you can see you can do it and get away with it, some people will do it. I've seen it happen before, and I can see why they do it. Sometimes they get caught, sometimes they don't. Well, anyways, when Rudius wanted them to join, he didn't like it. Richard is a very prideful man, a warrior. He was the leader of the separate warriors. So because of that, he has that sense of pride and stubbornness in his way of things are going. So it's not just this bad reputation. The reason why people are afraid of him. His own way of thinking is why people are afraid of him. He kills first, no questions asked. None of that. He doesn't care. And his way of thinking is what caused everyone to be scary of him. And it makes sense. Now, if he's going to keep thinking this way, no matter how hard Rudius tries, nothing's going to work. Regard has to do some work himself. He has to change in order for things to get better. So this guy spent years trying to clean his reputation, but he can't because he doesn't know what to do. So along comes Rudius. So it's like when you're in rehab or something, you can't just have the shrink do all the work. You gotta do the work yourself, You gotta step out and make the change. And if you don't think that change is right, maybe it's your perspective and your view on things the reason why you don't think it's right. So give it a shot in another direction and see what you can do with it. So now Rudius has this plan in order to make more money by doing more upper venture jobs so they can level up. But it seems like trouble is brewing with that Nakapara guy, Like I said, look out for him. He's extremely smart and cunning, by the way. So we got one more episode left, people. Ah, man, you hate to see it. You really do, man. It's like, come on, man. Just give us one more episode. Like, give us 12 episodes, man. And then I'll be satisfied and we can wait on. But I can see what we're doing. They're just playing this up carefully. If you haven't noticed, light novel readers, web novel readers, you know where they're going with this, You know they're ending this on volume 3. So the second half is going to end on volume 6. I like this. Originally, according to web novels, there's 24 volumes, including the redundancy chapters, which is just, a lot of important filler, if you ask me. Very important filler. Most of it is important. Some is kind of, eh. But if they do this like this, split it up 6 volumes per season. 6 volumes per season. There's 24. So, 6 divided by 24. That's 4 seasons of Mushoku Tensei we can do. You can literally do the entire series of Mushoku Tensei in 4 seasons. Season 1, 1 through 6. Season 2, 7 through 12. Season 3, you know your multiplications, come on. But it's possible. Studio Ghibli could do this in 4 seasons. Finish up Mushoku Tensei in 4 seasons, and they can do their half thing per year, because the studio was made directly just to make Mushoku Tensei. So if that's the case, with 2021, just work on the season during the winter, then the next one is summer, then 2022 comes around, same thing and same thing. You know what I'm saying? But again, it depends on how much quality and production can they do within that time. So if they have to wait another year, I guess, to do it, okay, sure, why not? I just gotta make sure I stay alive. And we've survived 2020. We can survive the other years to come too. We just gotta hold on out. So, anyways, I'm gonna end it today, man. Like I said, it's a very interesting episode. That one scene within the cellar was very, very important to me. Of course, the Easter eggs I like to point out as well. So anyways, if you enjoy my content, like, comment, subscribe, and of course, hit that bell icon. This has been Madcrownxox. I'm Anime. Signing out.